Ever just wish you could, like, beam a thought straight into someone else's head?
Uh-huh. Yeah, like in those sci-fi movies.
Exactly. Like, forget talking, just pure thought transfer,
Yeah.
Well, guess what we're diving into today?
Mm.
Telepathic communication. But hold on.
Okay.
Before you think we've gone full Star Wars on you, we're talking about the real deal.
Oh, okay.
Like actual science, electronically mediated telepathy.
Right.
Stuff that researchers are working on right now to make this a reality.
That's wild.
Yeah. And the source we're looking at for this deep dive goes deep
Okay.
into how this might actually work and all the big questions it raises.
Like ethical stuff.
Totally. Privacy, security, the whole shebang. So buckle up because things are about to get mind-bending.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, so first things first, no magic crystals or mind-reading psychics here.
No.
This is about hardcore science.
Right.
Our source focuses on two big areas: brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs,
Okay.
and neurotechnology.
Gotcha. So like two sides of the same coin.
Kinda, yeah. Like imagine them working together to make this telepathy thing happen.
Okay.
So can you give us a quick breakdown of each?
Absolutely. BCIs, think of it like a bridge between your brain and some kind of device.
Like a computer?
Exactly. Or even something like a prosthetic limb.
Wow, okay.
They can already translate what's happening in your brain, those neural signals, into actual commands.
So you can move a robotic arm just by thinking about it.
Exactly, just by thinking.
Right.
Now imagine taking that same tech, that ability to read those brain signals.
Yeah.
And instead of sending them to a device, you send them to another person's brain.
Whoa, okay, hold on. So we're talking about like actually decoding thoughts from brainwaves.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
But to get there, you also need neurotechnology.
Right. Okay, so how does that piece fit in?
So this field is all about understanding the brain, like down to the nuts and bolts.
Gotcha.
How it works, how to manipulate its activity.
Hmm.
A good example is something called transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS. It's already being used to treat certain neurological conditions.
Interesting.
It uses magnetic pulses to kind of like stimulate specific areas in the brain.
Oh, I see.
And now researchers are looking at how we can use that same technology to send targeted signals to another brain, like little thought packets, if you will.
So we're talking about beaming specific thoughts to someone else.
You got it. But it's
Yeah.
super complex, obviously.
Okay, so let's say we actually crack this code.
Yeah.
We figure out how to send thoughts back and forth.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just be like total chaos? I mean, everyone's thoughts flying around everywhere.
That's exactly why this research isn't just about the how, but the should. Our source dives into some really important rules if this tech is going to be used ethically and safely.
Right, because who wants someone else reading their thoughts without permission?
Exactly. Consent and privacy, those are huge GE. You'd have to absolutely know that no one can access your thoughts unless you give the okay.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But even with consent, like what about security? Couldn't someone hack into these thought signals?
Absolutely, that's another biggie. Think of it like online data today, except way more sensitive. We'd need some serious security measures.
Like what?
Super strong encryption to scramble those signals so no one can intercept them.
Okay, so like a secret code for your thoughts.
Exactly. Plus, you'd need ways to verify the sender, you know?
Right, so it's really them thinking that thought, not someone pretending to be them.
Precisely. It's a lot to figure out, but it has to be done right.
Okay, so we got consent, privacy, security. What about accuracy? What if I'm trying to send a clear thought and it ends up just being gibberish on the other end?
That's a big one, too. The source talks about the need for standardized thought signals.
Thought signals. What's that?
Think of it like a universal language for the mind. Imagine a system of symbols that represent certain ideas or emotions.
Kind of like emojis, but for more complex stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And we might even need some training to help people send and receive those signals clearly.
Man, this is really mind-blowing. But okay, let's zoom out for a sec. What could this tech actually mean for how we live our lives?
Ooh. Well, imagine a world with no language barriers. We could directly understand each other's thoughts and feelings.
Wow.
Think how much easier collaboration would be, especially on complex projects.
Yeah, that's true. But wouldn't we lose something, too?
What do you mean?
Like, what about the beauty of language, the art of conversation?
That's a good point.
And what about our own individuality? If our thoughts aren't totally private anymore, does that change who we are?
You're right. There are definitely two sides to this coin. Some potentially amazing benefits, but also some very real concerns.
Yeah, and how about relationships? Imagine knowing exactly what your partner's thinking all the time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be good or bad, depending on the thought.
Exactly. It would definitely bring up a whole new set of challenges.
Absolutely. And then there's the ethical and societal questions that come with this kind of power.
Like, could this tech be used to manipulate people?
That's definitely a concern the source raises. And how do we regulate this? What are the legal implications? We'd need a whole new set of rules for this kind of communication.
Wow, it really makes you think, doesn't it? A world where we don't even need words to communicate.
It's both exciting and a little scary.
Totally.
Really.
Could it be a utopia where everyone understands each other perfectly? Or a dystopian nightmare where our thoughts are constantly being invaded?
Yeah.
A lot to ponder there.
Definitely.